The following is a story about a young woman named Maya. While the events described are a reconstruction based on police reports and witness statements, the terror she experienced that night was entirely real. It serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous predators are the ones hiding in plain sight, waiting for us to make just one simple assumption. It was a Tuesday in late October, the kind of night where the autumn chill cuts right through your jacket and settles into your bones. Maya's had just finished a double shift at the bistro where she worked downtown. It was nearing 2 a.m., and the city, usually vibrant and loud, had quieted down to a low, unsettling hum. Her feet ached, her phone battery was hovering at 12%, and all she wanted was the safety of her apartment and a warm bed. She stood on the corner of 4th and Main, the wind whipping her hair across her face, and opened her rideshare app. The screen glowed bright in the darkness, the only source of light on the deserted corner other than a flickering street lamp overhead. She typed in her address, her fingers clumsy with the cold, and hit request. The app spun for a moment before connecting. Driver, David. Car, silver Toyota Camry. License plate, KLR 492. She whispered to herself, wrapping her coat tighter around her body. To kill time, and perhaps to feel a little less alone on the empty street, she called her roommate, Chloe. The phone rang 3 times before Chloe picked up, her voice groggy with sleep. "Maya, is everything okay? It's like 2 in the morning." "Oh, I'm sorry. I just got off. I'm waiting for the Uber now. I just wanted to make sure you locked the deadbolt. I forgot my keys in my other bag." Yeah, it's locked. Just knock when you get here. Hurry up, Maya. It's freezing out." "I know. I'm standing on the corner now. A silver Camry just turned onto the block. I think that's him. I'll be there in 10. Love you." Maya hung up the phone just as a silver sedan rolled slowly toward the curb. It looked like a Camry, generic, slightly dented bumper, tinted windows. It was the kind of car you see 1,000 times a day and never remember. Maya watched it slow down. She checked her app one last time. The little car icon on the map looked like it was right on top of her. The car came to a stop. The passenger window rolled down halfway. Maya leaned in, instinctively cautious. "Hi, are you here for Maya?" The driver was a man, maybe in his 40s, wearing a dark baseball cap pulled low. He didn't look at her immediately. He was fiddling with the radio dial. At the sound of her voice, he stopped and turned his head. His eyes were shadowed, but he offered a polite, tired smile. "Maya?" he repeated, his voice raspy. "Yeah, that's me. Hop in." He reached over and popped the lock on the back door. The sound was a loud thud, click that echoed in the quiet street. Maya didn't hesitate. She was cold, exhausted, and the app said her car was here. She opened the back door and slid onto the fabric seat. The smell overwhelmingly of pine air freshener, an artificial forest scent that was thick enough to make her eyes water, masking something stale underneath, like old cigarettes and damp earth. "Rough night?" asked the driver, as she buckled her seatbelt. He was looking at her through the rearview mirror. His eyes lingered a second too long. "Long shift," Maya sighed, leaning her head back against the headrest. "I bet," he said. He put the car in drive and pulled away from the curb, merging smoothly onto the empty road. "Don't worry, I know a shortcut. We'll get you there fast." Maya closed her eyes, letting the vibration of the car lull her. They drove in silence for about 2 minutes. The city lights blurred past the window, rhythmic and hypnotic. She felt her body relaxing, the tension of the workday finally bleeding out of her muscles. Then her phone buzzed in her hand. She ignored it at first, thinking it was a text from Chloe, but then it buzzed again and again,
a distinctive rhythmic vibration pattern, the one her phone made when a priority notification came through. Lazily, she lifted the phone and tapped the screen. The brightness blinded her for a second. When her eyes adjusted, she stared at the notification, her brain refusing to process what she was seeing. "Your driver, David, has arrived." Maya frowned. "What?" she whispered. She unlocked the phone and opened the app. The map refreshed. The little car icon, David's car, was sitting stationary back at the corner of 4th and Main, exactly where she had been standing 2 minutes ago. A text message popped up from the driver in the app. "I'm here with the hazard lights on. I don't see you. Are you still at the bistro?" Maya's blood turned to ice. The sensation was physical, a cold wash that started in her chest and shot down to her fingertips. She looked up at the back of the driver's head. He was humming softly, tapping his fingers on the steering wheel. She looked at the interior of the car again. There was no phone mount on the dashboard, no GPS screen glowing with the Uber app interface, no trade dress sticker in the window. She wasn't in an Uber. She had asked, "Are you here for Maya?" and he had simply repeated her name back to her. He didn't know who she was until she gave him the information. He had just been cruising the bar district, waiting for a lone woman to mistake him for her ride. Panic, sharp and jagged, rose in her throat. She gripped the door handle, her knuckles white. She needed to get out, but they were moving at 40 miles per hour, and the streets were getting darker. He wasn't taking the main road anymore. He had turned onto an industrial avenue that ran parallel to the highway, a place of warehouses and chain-link fences. "Don't scream," she told herself. "If you scream, he knows you know." She forced her voice to remain steady, though it sounded thin and brittle to her own ears. "Hey," she leaned forward slightly. "I'm so sorry, but could you pull over at that gas station up there? The Shell station?" The driver didn't answer immediately. He didn't even turn his head. He just kept humming. "Sir," she said a little louder, "I just realized I forgot to grab water for my roommate. It'll just take a second. I have cash. I can tip you extra for the stop." The humming stopped. The silence that filled the car was heavy, suffocating. The driver looked into the rearview mirror again. This time there was no polite smile. His eyes were flat, dead things. He stared at her, unblinking. "You don't need water, Maya," he said. His voice had dropped an octave. It wasn't raspy anymore. It was cold and hard. "You don't need water where we're going." The sentence hung in the air like a physical threat. Click. A loud mechanical sound came from all 4 doors at once. He had engaged the central locks from the driver's side. Maya's heart hammered against her ribs so hard she thought it might bruise. He knew that she knew. The pretense was over. The car surged forward. The engine roared as he slammed his foot on the gas. The speedometer climbed, 45, 50, 60. The warehouses blurred into gray streaks. They were heading out of the city toward the old shipping yards where the streetlights were broken and no one went at night. Maya grabbed the door handle and yanked it. Locked. She clawed at the lock pin, but it was a smooth, cylindrical design that sat flush with the door panel when engaged. There was nothing to grip. "Let me out of this car!" she screamed, the facade breaking. "Let me out of this car!" The driver began to laugh. It was a dry, wheezing sound. He commanded, "Sit back. Don't make this difficult."
Maya looked around frantically. She didn't have a weapon. She had a phone, her keys, and a heavy tote bag. She looked at the window. Could she break it? Not likely. Not before he stopped somewhere dark and did whatever he was planning to do. She looked out the windshield. Up ahead, about a quarter-mile away, the traffic light at the intersection of the industrial park was turning yellow, then red. There was cross-traffic, a massive semi-truck rolling through the intersection. The driver cursed under his breath.
He couldn't run the red light without hitting the truck. He slammed on the brakes. The Toyota screeched, tires biting into the asphalt, the momentum throwing Maya forward against the seatbelt. This was it. It was her only chance. As the car decelerated rapidly, Maya knew she couldn't open the back doors. The child locks were likely on, or he would just hit the button again. She needed to catch him off guard. She unbuckled her seatbelt. The driver heard the click. "Stay down," he shouted, reaching his right arm into the back seat to grab her. Maya didn't pull away. Instead, she lunged forward, over the center console, right toward him. She wasn't trying to attack him. She was trying to create chaos. She jammed her thumbs into the side of his neck and kicked the gear shift with her knee. The driver roared in pain and surprise, his hand flailing to grab her hair. The car swerved violently, clipping the curb. "Let me go!" she screamed. She grabbed the steering wheel and yanked it hard to the right. The car spun, losing traction, and slammed sideways into a metal guardrail. The impact wasn't enough to kill them, but the jolt was massive. The airbag didn't deploy, but the driver's head cracked against the side window. For a second, he was dazed. Maya didn't wait. She scrambled over the passenger seat. Her hands found the front door handle. She unlocked it manually. The front doors didn't have the same safety mechanisms as the back. She threw the door open and tumbled out onto the pavement. The asphalt scraped the skin off her palms and knees, but she didn't feel it. Adrenaline was the only thing in her veins. She scrambled to her feet and ran. She didn't look back. She ran toward the semi-truck that was now stopped at the intersection, the driver looking down with wide eyes. "Help!" she shrieked, waving her arms. "He's trying to kill me! Help!" Behind her, the Toyota's engine revved. She heard tires squeal. She threw herself toward the truck, cowering behind its massive wheels. The truck driver blared his horn, a deafening blast that echoed through the night. The Toyota didn't pursue. The driver must have realized there were witnesses now. The silver sedan peeled away, tires smoking, reversing violently off the guardrail and speeding off down a side street, disappearing into the darkness of the shipping yards. Maya collapsed on the side of the road, sobbing, her body shaking so violently she couldn't breathe. It took the police 10 minutes to arrive. Maya gave them everything: the description of the man, the smell of the car, the dented bumper, but she didn't have a license plate. The app had shown her the real driver's plate, not the imposter's. For 3 days, Maya lived in a state of paralysis. She couldn't leave her apartment. She flinched every time a car door slammed outside. She kept replaying the moment the lock clicked down. "You don't need water where we're going." On the 4th day, she got a call from Detective Miller. He said, "Maya," his voice grim, "we found the car. It was ditched in a ravine about 20 miles out of town, burned out." He tried to destroy the evidence. "Did you catch him?" she asked, gripping the phone. "Not yet," Miller said, "but we found something else. The fire didn't burn everything. The trunk was intact." There was a long pause on the line. Maya could hear the detective shifting papers, searching for the right words. "What was in the trunk?" she whispered. "Luggage," Miller said. 3 suitcases. 1 red, 1 blue, 1 black. We matched the ID tags inside. They belonged to 3 women reported missing over the last month from the downtown area. All of them were last seen waiting for ride shares. Maya felt the room spin. "And Maya," the detective continued, his voice dropping, "we found a notebook in the glove box. It was charred but legible. It was a log. Dates, times, and names." "Names?" "Yeah. He wrote down the names he heard people say on their phones while they were waiting on the curb. He had a check mark next to 3 of them. Your name was the last one on the list. It didn't have a check mark. It had a question mark." Maya never takes ride shares anymore. She doesn't walk alone at night. And if you ask her, she'll tell you that the scariest part wasn't the knife or the speed or the locks. The scariest part was that when she got in that car, She felt safe. She trusted the system. She trusted the routine. And that trust was exactly what he was counting on. So the next time you're waiting on a dark corner, staring at your phone, and a car pulls up, don't just ask if they're here for you. Make them say your name and check the license plate. Because the monster isn't always hiding under the bed. Sometimes it's in the front seat, smiling, waiting to take you home.